Hi guys, thanks for coming along to have a look at the video for our reading today. So as you know, in our Monday video and lesson, we had a look at Candle in the Wind by Elton John, and we just picked it apart. I had a look at some of the lines, what they might mean. There's a lot of figurative language in this one. There's some simile, personification, and you might have found some words you weren't sure of. You might have gone away and had a look at those words. But today we're going to have a little look at some questions. So your first slide is the section of the song, the lyrics that we're looking at. On the next slide are your questions. So something's in my way on my screen here. There we go. As you can see here, we've got our practice apply, and our Walt is make a plausible inference of what I've read. So you can see some very well-known metamates here. We've got dot deduction and detective conjecture. Remember, conjecture is thoughts and ideas. Dot deduction is your inference skills. Okay, I think this because of this evidence. So they kind of work together. They both find evidence that, they're looking for clues. What we're really focusing on is, can you make plausible inference about characters and events based on what I've read? Now, events might sound strange when it's not a story, but you still think he's singing about somebody's life. And the big one, this one really links to this one. I can find evidence that supports my inference. You can't. Remember what I say in class. If you put I think this because, and you include because with a reference to the text, I can't really say you're wrong. If you just put, I think it's this, I go, what are you on about? I don't know if you're right there. But if you put a reason, and that reason is linked to the text, it's very hard for me to argue that you're wrong. Might not mean you're right, but it's hard to argue that you're wrong. So let's have a look at some of these. Like before, white ones maybe a little easier, orange ones, and then blue's like your challenging one. But I don't always get that right. It's up to you where you start. Okay, that can be a number one, or this one could be a number one, or this one could be number one. I don't mind, but you need your pen and paper, and you need to be writing it down. I want you to write these answers out as you would in class. So I don't want to see number one word answer. Okay, because when you send me that, I will put in your comments, that's not been finished. I need the full answers for me, please, so I can see that you've got it right. All right, guys, so you've got to keep that standard up. I'm going to go for this one as number one. So think of a candle in the wind. Describe as clearly as you can what happens to it. Okay, so it's burning bright, but the wind makes it go out. Could add a bit more in there, actually. It's burning bright, and if it's, if there's a wind, I don't know if you've ever seen it, they flicker, don't they, actually? So actually, I'm not going to do that. It's burning bright, but the wind makes it flicker. It fights, doesn't it? It fights to stay alive. It fights to stay lit, and then goes out. Sorry about my handwriting, by the way. I'm writing on like a tablet, and it's quite hard to watch the screen and not look at your hand. Now say what you think this means about her life. So it's kind of like a section B for this one, isn't it? She fought against a lot of things, maybe. She fought against a lot of things. You could say that you don't have to know this person. You could say that somebody else's life is a candle in the wind. She fought against a lot of things, but eventually it got too much. I think this is really, if you really think about it, a candle in the wind and comparing that to somebody's life is really powerful and really sad. You could really, you could really go for it and say, well, a candle brings hope, doesn't it? And it's light in the darkness, and there's a beauty. She's fought against this wind. She's fought against these things, trying to make her feel smaller. and it all got too much. Maybe we all feel like a candle in the wind. Maybe you feel like a candle in the wind right now. You're trying to stay happy and positive, but things keep trying to blow you out or make you feel smaller. So I think there's potential there for really, really quite, I know some of you write quite lengthy answers here. I think if you've only written a line, you probably want to have a look at it again. But very well done to anyone who's got anything like that. If not, you can write that down along with me. But yeah, a very thought-provoking question. Number 2, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of what I've written. There you go. So that was number 1. That's number 2. In your opinion, what is the most powerful line? Now, it's your opinion here. It might be that actually, candle in the wind, now you thought about it, is the most powerful. It might be that you actually want to do a bit of a sentence, never know who to cling to when the rain sets in. It's completely up to you, as long as you say why. So, if it is candle in the wind, you can refer back to your other question, your other answer. Personally, I do like never knowing who to cling to when the rain sets in, just because that makes me feel so sad for the person. So, when the rain sets in, it means when things are down and sad, she doesn't know who to go to. It's just a very powerful image. I also really like this one, though. Your candle burned out long before your legend ever did, so it means you're not here anymore, but we still remember. There's some good lines, and as long as you put, I like this one because, and you tell me genuinely why, can't be wrong with it. Number 3. Ooh, let's go for that one. This might not be your number 3, though. The press hounded Norma Jean. It's down here, isn't it? Press hounded Norma Jean. What does it mean? Well, if you're hounded, or a hound is a dog, isn't it? And dogs were used for hunting. So if you're hounded, it basically means, you were being chased. So being chased, when you want to be left alone, or when you don't want to be. And you might want to put a reason why. But you might want to put, because hounds did this to foxes, the fox and the hound. But yeah, something about being chased, and it's negative. It's not you enjoy being chased. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4. Although her candle has burnt out, what will continue? A bit of retrieval, that one, really. I've already mentioned it. Her legend. So what will continue? Well, it's the legend of her, isn't it? It could be as simple as that for that answer, actually. Which means she will always be remembered. As long as your answer makes sense, you think I have answered that question. And then the last one, number 5. What do you think never knowing who to cling to? I just mentioned that, haven't I? I spoke about that with as one of my favourite lines. Whoops. So yeah, never knowing who to cling to when the rain sets in. Not literal. It doesn't mean when it's raining. Remember, think about atmosphere in stories. When it's raining, you know something bad's going to happen in a film, don't you? Or it's dark, or something sad's happening. So it's so sad. For this one, what am I writing there? Whoops. So for this one, it's definitely going to be, I think, because somebody might have a different idea. It means she was very lonely when things were hard or she was down. There you go. I think that would be a fair answer for that one. Well done with that, guys. I'm so gutted we're not in class talking about this. I really like doing song lyrics, and this one's a really good one to do in reading. So I'm really gutted we're not having our ideas bouncing off each other. So do really make sure you've got your answer nice and clearly written down. Hand it in, and I'm going to read all of them. I'm going to put a nice. I'm excited for the comment. I want to try and recreate the conversation that I'd have with you in our little feedback comments. So do be really clear with your answers, and Maybe you want to change a few, like you would at home, like you would at school with a green pen. Maybe you want to go, oh, actually, no, I didn't get that right. I'll write it again. I'll answer it correctly. You know, have that standard. Okay, but brilliant. Well done. Thank you for coming to have a look at this video, guys. Keep going.